Pastor Apollo Quiboloy. The Kingdom of Jesus Christ leader can now be considered a fugitive. That's according to the NBI, after authorities failed to find the pastor during another attempt to serve the arrest warrant against him.
Now, but along with that, 5 Kingdom of Jesus Christ members who were previously issued a warrant of arrest have surrendered to the NBI's Southern Mindanao Regional Office.
We have more updates coming from Jenny Dongon. Jenny, hi. What's the latest on Pastor Quiboloy?
Ladies, that's right. 2 of the accused in the child abuse case linked to Kingdom of Jesus Christ founder Pastor Apollo Quiboloy voluntarily surrendered to NBI Davao Region. Jacqueline Roy and Ingrid Canada, both personal assistants of Pastor Quiboloy, voluntarily surrendered to the NBI regarding the child abuse case. The 2 allegedly sent surrender feelers. Before them, 3 other accused individuals also surrendered to the NBI, namely Pauline Canada, Sylvia Simanes, and Crescente Canada.
When they knew that they have already a warrant of arrest and they don't want that they will hide all the time while nakapende itong kaso, so they turned to us.
With the case of child abuse being bailable, all 5 have posted bail of 80,000 pesos. This leaves just Pastor Apollo Quiboloy, who has yet to surrender. With this, Quiboloy is now considered a fugitive by the authorities as he is facing 2 cases in the Davao Regional Trial Court. The first is the child abuse case, along with 5 who surrendered. And second, a case of sexual abuse, which is also bailable for 200,000 pesos. Today, the NBI and PNP went to several properties belonging to Quiboloy to serve his 2 warrant of arrest, including the KOJC compound in Davao City, a prayer mountain, and properties of Quiboloy in the island garden city of Samal. However, Quiboloy was nowhere to be found. Only his lawyers appear before the authorities. Despite this, the NBI is confident that Quiboloy is still in Davao. The Immigration Bureau also stated that he has not left the Philippines.
Meron tayong mga monitoring na andito pa siya sa Davao. But this warrant of arrest is unexpected. No? Siguro nung paglabas nito kahapon, kami yung first na nakakuha. And alam na rin nila. And we surmise na siguro si Pastor nandito pa.
The NBI is now in negotiation with Quiboloy's camp, urging the pastor to surrender voluntarily. According to the court, Quiboloy must personally appear at the regional trial court to post bail. But the question now arises, will Quiboloy be released on bail like 5 other accused who surrendered?
Automatic yan, since alam na rin namin na meron siyang contempt warrant sa Senado and sa Congress. Once na mahuli natin si Pastor Quiboloy, automatic, kasi available man to dito, he will be turned over to Manila.
Ladies, the NBI, CIDJ, and intelligence community are focused now on tracking down Pastor Apollo Quiboloy. They only have 10 days left to capture him, and they have to act swiftly, or they risk having to return the 2 warrants to court. After this, they will likely have to wait for another new warrant or abide whatever decision the court makes next. Ladies.
Thank you so much for that update, Jenny Dongon. Now, our other big story tonight is one of the biggest data hacks under the Marcos administration in terms of data size. That's exactly how the Department of Science and Technology described the latest hack on their system, which led to at least 2 terabytes of unrecovered data so far. The attack happened on Tuesday when hackers breached 3 of the agency's websites. The DOST confirms that 2 terabytes of data had been compromised, including information on scientists, employees, research, videos, invention designs, projects, and backup files. The DOST fears that more files will be leaked as they have yet to gain full access of over 20 of their other systems. Meanwhile, the DICT, which is working with the DOST on the investigation, believes that Filipino hackers were behind the attack. That's because the hackers left a message with hashtag #OpEdsa on the text. They also claim to have not only deleted 2 terabytes worth of data, but actually 25 terabytes. Some digital advocates have been slamming the repeated hacking of government websites in recent months.
Kahit pa hindi ito ganun ka-sensitive, these are still information which can be used by anyone. I mean, hindi naman yan tatargetin kung wala-wala lang eh.
Here to give us the latest on their investigation into the recent hacking of DOST systems, we have with us on the show, Asec Paraiso of the DICT. Magandang gabi po.
Magandang gabi ho, Mama Gretchen, Ma'am Riza, Ma'am Sean. Glad to be back, but hopefully next time under different circumstances.
Okay, Asec, may konting confusion, no? Doon sa kung gaano kalaki itong data hack, data breach, data deletion, 25 terabytes nga ba, 2 terabytes. Can you clarify with us how big is this attack?
Well, initially we are looking into 2 terabytes kasi yun ho ang nireport ho sa amin ng DOST, but we're not discounting the fact that exponentially it may grow as we begin to delve into deeper with our investigation. We have to understand that at this early phase, we're still trying to gain access dun sa main system ng DOST, which we were logged out of, and we are, talagang hindi ho kami, naka-encrypted files na ho itong mga files na to.
So yung 2 terabytes na yun, dinelete yun lahat. It cannot be retrieved again, am I correct?
No, we do not. Again, we're still there. This is still an ongoing investigation. We believe that since we have to gain access, we have to still verify the claims of these hackers that they deleted the files. Although the whole system of DOST, you have to imagine it's very massive because DOST has been around for a while, and many of their submissions involve schematics, designs, which really take up a lot of storage space. So we're not discounting the fact that this might have some truth. The claims of these hackers might have some truth to it.
All right, Asec Aboy, we understand that the DOST is, of course, as an agency, sobrang dami niyang kawing-kawing na other agencies, Pag-asa, FIVOX, diba, PTRI, napakadami pong nakakabit.
Yeah.
Do we know as early as now? We understand you just started the investigation. Tuesday lang siya nagyari. It's only Thursday. But can you tell us as early as now kung aling subsidiaries yung or talagang yung main DOST website and system ba talaga yung natamaan? So there's no way of knowing as early as now exactly what data is missing or compromised.
No. On that particular matter, you can assure the public that we have already isolated. It's isolated to the DOST central office system, the DOST the main website of the DOST. Hindi talaga siya that was part of the remediation process of DICT para hindi kumalat yung pinsala na nagawa ng mga hackers na to. So we isolated their system, we locked out their internet, we the access file. So yung mga entry points nila talaga sinarala ho namin.
Asec, so far, there's 20 other systems na partially accessible pa lang. Are we expecting that, it will grow, especially itong unrecovered data size that is at 2 terabytes so far?
So let me clarify that the affected system, the entire system that was affected is around 20 systems. So yun yung entirety no compromised na data. But these also include the backup files, the redundancies, the recovery files of the DOST. You were pointing out earlier na marami hong agency ang DOST. Again, part of the remediation process that DICT did was to isolate this so we can assure the public that eto lang hong talagang DOST central office system ang apektado, hindi ho apektado. But, and this is a big but, part of the administrative process siguro ng DOST is pag yung mga agencies nila nag-aakyat ng files sa kanila, they keep a backup, and that backup is part of the files that were compromised with DOST.
So ibig sabihin po, sir, kapag hindi nabawi o hindi na-access itong systems na ito, potentially the data is lost forever?
Potentially po, yes.
Oh, okay. How does this render the organization's capabilities now in terms of being able to do the day-to-day work?
I think the critical data that we really have to really try to recover is the current data. Kasi you have to understand, yung past data are based on inventions, technology that have long since passed na. Marami doon obsolete na. Talagang naka-archive na lang. That's part of their data storage din. So when you ask me, administratively, it would affect them. Especially yung mga ongoing projects ho nila. And we already contacted our security agency, so ng iba't ibang ahensya ng pamahalaan, if they have an ongoing partnership with DOST, para naman malaman ho namin if there would be other compromises, security compromises that would be affected with this recent hacking attempt.
Right. Asec Aboy, while you're doing the investigation, meron din bang kaakibat or katuwang na plano on how to do the backup maybe in a different way? Kasi nakakahinayang naman. Maybe there's, information from our space system in there. I don't know. Pero parang nakakahinayang na so much knowledge, so much time and research went into those terabytes that could never be recovered again.
Sakit eh.
Ang sakit. At saka may chance ba na baka ninakaw nila instead of dinelete? Tas pwede nilang minsan may mga ganong nagyayari na hino-hostage, di ba? That you have to pay a ransom to get
it back.
To get it back, yeah.
Well, initially, kasama ho yan sa inimbestigahan natin that this system, and the procedures they employed were consistent with a ransomware attack dito sa sistema ng DOST. The peculiar thing about this is, even though that they encrypted the data, dapat to pag sa ransomware, pag na-encrypt mo yung data, you would ask for something para ibigay mo yung encryption key para ma-decrypt yung data. At this particular case, in-encrypt nila para ma-log out kami, hindi ko namin ma-access yung files nila, and then they claim that they deleted the files. And some of the files they extracted, dinadump po nila do sa dark web and other platforms para makita ho as proof that they were able to penetrate the system of the ICT.
So bragging
DOST,
rights?
Sorry.
Bragging rights ba to? Sa hacker community?
Bragging rights, proof of life. So, yun din.
Asec, do we have any idea how many years of work is in that 20 systems? Meron ba tayong date?
We can only assume that since the beginning of the DOST, from its inception, as well as yung mga minanaho nilang mga files from whatever agency they sprung out of.
Okay, what about
ganun ho.
itong group responsible? Of course, they left a signature in the form of a hashtag OP-EDSA or OP-EDSA. It leads us to believe na Pinoys din ang gumawa nito. Do we have any more info that you can share with us on air about the hackers? Bagong grupo ba ito? Or have they been guilty in trying to hack some other government website na, of course, of late, medyo madami at madalas na nagyayari?
Opo. Ganito ho. We have our suspicions based on their digital signatures, their footprints, and the methods they employed. However, since we were talking about bragging rights, they're not they're not shy about bragging about who they are. In fact, they said they were previously conducting VAPT testing. They were hired to do VAPT testing on the system of the DOST. So, a part of me, the patriotic part of me says that, kung yung ethical standards mo lang na you were hired pala to prevent these things from happening, and yet you exploited your access, you exploited the knowledge that you gained from gaining access to their system para na masirain sila. So, again, all of these we are collating, and it would be part of the investigation, and later on it would be part of the files and the report we would go to law enforcement agencies naman for them to go after these, you have to understand, may criminal liability ito. So I wouldn't be offshoot when I say this criminal. So.
Right. Wait, Asec, what's VAPT checking? Can you educate us a little bit? Kung ano yon? And did that mean, tama ba yung pagkaintindi ko with what you said, na they were parang a contractor that was hired to check on supposedly, allegedly?
The DOST. When you say VAPT testing, ito madalas na natin nababanggit, and I believe even in your show, yung vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. This is a test that we employ to check the capabilities of a particular system, whether it would ensure light, medium, or very sophisticated attacks from hackers. It's sort of a test that would see if your firewall would stand up to various penetration tests that we would do. So yun ho, they were, tama ho kayo, they were allegedly, they boasted that they were tasked to conduct VAPT testing on this particular system of the DOST. So again, that's that's for me an very unethical thing to boast about. Na you were tasked to protect something, then you exploited that knowledge in order to hurt that system.
Asec, from DOST, there's also reports of hacking of Philippine citizen identity cards sa PSA naman. Can you confirm this? And which data are leaked and compromised?
What I can say right now, ma'am, is we are constantly monitoring all the reports and we have our individual passive systems that conducts regular checkups on the systems. But you have to understand the role of the DICT is we are the technical advisors, and unless we are called upon by these individual agencies of government who are tasked to procure and maintain their own systems, we cannot go in kasi we need their access to their system. So unless they can confirm, we cannot confirm as well. But what I can say is on a daily basis, just to give context, around 1 to 2 million attempts a day are being conducted to penetrate and compromise our government systems.
Asec, I'd like to bring back the question of Sean. What are the learning lessons here in terms of backing up data? Alam natin, scientific research could also have its offline component for one of archiving. Don't we have that?
Yes,
and paano ba natin gagawin para hindi siya maging vulnerable in one system? What can we do about it?
Well, first, to answer the first part of your question, Ma'am Gretchen. Yes, most of these files were lifted out of physical documents. They were scanned, they were put into the system because of the digitalization efforts of government. I'd like to hope that the archives or the physical archives are still there, but because there's a drive to go paperless, I really wouldn't get my hopes up. The second part of this is, tama ho kayo eh, dapat the best practices adopted throughout the world by our international allies, and is that a backup system, a data recovery site has to be employed, especially if you are the custodian of these documents. Hindi ho dapat nasa isang sistema lang ho yan, yung redundancy nyo at yung backup nyo nasa isang sistema. Kasi madali ho talaga. Isang site lang ang atakihin ng mga hackers. Ang material recovery site should even meron nung tinatakdang layo do sa main site. It should be at least 50 kilometers just in case there would be a physical attack naman on those sites naman po.
Huling tanong na lang, Asec Aboy.
Sige, ma'am.
Sobrang dami kasing hacking, di ba, sa mga government agencies, sa Congress, sa website ni President Marcos. Since nag-start tayo mag-usap about these things and since lumaganap itong mga hacking incidents, meron na bang ahensya na nakinig sa advice nyo at nag-beef up ng kanilang mga sistema? And if so, madami na po bang nag-follow sa mas bagong systems and beefed up security, etc.?
Doon sa unang part nyo, nakatuwa at nakakalungkot at the same time na ang mga talagang nag-comply at eager mag-comply at mag-beef up ng system nila, yung mga previously attacked systems. Unang-una na ho dyan, yung PhilHealth, who is working constantly with the ICT to talaga for their procurement plans of their IT systems. Especially they are tasked with the safeguarding and the custodian of very sensitive data of their members. So, ang House of Representatives din ho, constantly nakakausap din ho natin sila. Yung iba naman ho, and I would understand this kasi being part of government and being part of the procurement processes of government, naiintindihan ko, medyo matagal ho talaga, even for IT systems, ang procurement processes ho natin, that we are lobbying for a change na kahit man ho sa mga IT systems to prevent more cyber attacks from happening.
How expensive is it to safeguard your system? Mahal po ba? Bukod sa matagal, mahal din po ba?
Pero afford yun ng gobyerno, di ba, Asec? Di ba dapat trabaho nila na gawin yun at paggastusan yun?
Una ho, mahal ho talaga. Especially, you have to, again, to contextualize, technology is so ever-changing that what you procure now is obsolete as early as 6 months from now. So what procurement you have to do must be scrutinized and talagang dapat upgradable, forward-looking, and must withstand at least siguro mga at least 3 years bago yung nga ho mahal ho talaga siya if it's state-of-the-art defenses we're talking about. With the budget and the budgetary constraints of most of our agencies in government, we have to contend with na talagang we have to rely on the skills of our IT experts in government, which is also in peril because of, yun nga, madalas so hinahack pa kasi one of the best who talaga around the world is the Filipino IT professionals.
Well, we got a lot of information from that. Very interesting to note that yung isa sa mga suspect ay yung former contractor. And we do hope that we will have you again, this time for another reason.
For better reasons.
Thank you so much for joining us and shedding light on that hack, Asec Aboy Paraiso of the DICT.
Well, up next, rescue operations continue after the 7.2 magnitude quake in Taiwan. Details on that when the big story returns. Keep it here on One News.
Sixth earthquake earlier today. JC Cosico reports.
3 OFWs have sustained minor injuries from the magnitude 7.2 earthquake that struck Taiwan on Wednesday. The Department of Migrant Workers, or DMW, said one of them had a minor head injury after getting hit by falling debris. Another OFW also met an accident while trying to evacuate to safety.
Probably in a bit of a hurry, understandably, her two hands slammed into a door, so nagkaroon ng swollen hands.
The two have been discharged from hospital after receiving treatment, while the third Filipino who got injured is still recovering after falling unconscious amid the disaster.
Probably due to stress. Still there, but only for medical precautionary measures, not because major yung injuries niya.
They will be receiving financial aid, and the DMW is also ready to provide a psychosocial counseling if necessary. Their families in the Philippines have also been made aware of their status. So far, there have been no reports yet of OFWs trapped or missing in Taiwan. No one has also requested to be repatriated.
We hope it stays that way. At this stage, we still cannot safely say that 100% are accounted for. And hopefully, in the coming days, masasabi na natin for sure na accounted na sila 100%.
The DMW has also opened 24/7 help desks to assist the families of OFW get updated information on their loved ones abroad. You may contact them through the following numbers flashed on your screens. You can also reach out through Taiwan's help desks. The DMW is also monitoring developments in Japan after the magnitude 6 earthquake that hit today. The agency said protocols for accounting the safety and status of OFWs in Japan have been activated. There are around 290,000 Filipinos estimated to be living in Japan, making up the fourth largest group of foreign residents there. For News 5, JC Cosico, We Are One News.
Meanwhile, following that surge in traffic volume during the Holy Week break, tollway regulators are now eyeing to make expressways barrier-less and completely cashless. Now, another solution they're eyeing to minimize congestion is to apprehend motorists that do not have enough RFID load. Let's get more details. Marian Enriquez will tell us more. Marian.
That's right, Lisa. The Toll Regulatory Board plans to put a penalty on motorists entering expressways with insufficient load on their RFIDs. This was agreed upon in a meeting between House Deputy Majority Leader Erwin Tulfo and representatives of NLEX, SLEX, and the Toll Regulatory Board. They're eyeing this as a solution to the worsening traffic congestion along the expressways. NLEX reported that up to 87,000 vehicles used the tollway from Holy Wednesday to Thursday. That's higher than the 60,000 vehicles they initially expected. In this figure, at least 11,000 had defective or no RFID stickers or had insufficient load in their accounts.
We have been offering to the motoring public replacement of stickers, wala naman bayad, may inconvenience nga lang, no? But apparently, people still used the expressways with either a defective sticker or insufficient load. Easily, nakadelay sa likod yun ng 3 to 4 hours.
With that, the Toll Regulatory Board asked the lower house to convince the DPWH to issue a department order seeking to impose a fine on motorists who do not have enough load in their RFIDs.
Matitikitan ka, pero maglalagay muna, yung department order, may mga signages sila doon na pag wala kang load, matitikitan ka to inform the general public. Kailangan pag pumasok ka dyan, may load ka.
Tulfo says he has already spoken with DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan. The lawmaker is expecting the agency to issue the department order by April. They will also begin talks on how much of a penalty will be imposed on violators. Aside from this, another solution eyed is the removal of barriers along NLEX and SLEX starting November. They are planning to initially remove barriers at the entry points at Nichols in SLEX and the Balintawak entry in NLEX. The entire process of making the expressways barrier-less will take up to 2 years. There is also a plan to construct an elevated expressway above the Balintawak interchange to Bocaue, Bulacan to help ease congestion. SLEX is also planning its own expansion.
So yung SLEX, which is 4x4 ngayon, magiging 6x6. Yung standard na 2x2 ngayon, magiging 4x4. At ginagawa natin yung extension ng TR4, the SLEX, which is from Santo Tomas to Lucena City. That's about 60 kilometers.
Riza, the TRB expects cashless or contactless program along tollways to begin by June. By July, the interoperability of the expressways are seen to begin. That is the use of a single account or wallet across all tollways. Riza.
Thank you, Marian.
The Philippine government has adjusted the target growth rate for the country for 2024. Along with this, President Bongbong Marcos is also eyeing solutions for the country's traffic woes. Let's get more details from Malacanang senior correspondent Maricel Halili. Mase, go ahead.
Gretchen, according to Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Arsenio Balisacan, the target of gross domestic product or growth rate for 2024 was revised from the previous 6.5 to 7.5% to a range of 6 to 7%. The target for 2025 has also been changed. It is now between 6.5 and 7.5%, which is lower compared to the previous target of 6.5 to 8%. However, the target for 2026 to 2028 will remain to 6.5 to 8%. The inflation target for this year until 2028 will also remain in the range of 2 to 4%. Balisacan mentioned that the Philippines is still on track to achieve a single-digit poverty rate by 2028, down from 18% in 2021.
The revised targets for our headline indicators considered the country's recent economic performance in fiscal year 2023 and reflect the latest developments and expectations on external factors such as global demand and trade growth, oil price movements, and expected exchange rate and inflation trends.
Along with those mentioned, Balisacan said that geopolitical issues such as the West Philippine Sea were also taken into account. The NEDA secretary, however, clarified that the country's 15 trillion debt was not included in the considerations. He mentioned that the Philippines is still in a good position regarding this figure. He said that the rule of thumb is that debt should be 70% of GDP for emerging economies, where the Philippines is currently at around 60%. Meanwhile, the government has ordered all government agencies to submit recommendations on how they can adjust their offices and improve their work environment amid the heavy traffic flow in the country. According to Balisacan, President Bongbong Marcos wants a comprehensive and holistic approach to solving the traffic problem, not just temporary solutions like those implemented in previous years.
So the whole system it cannot be just seen as a piecemeal basis, kasi kung may choke point in one, it affects the whole system. That's why we have to really look at it as a system, and that's the direction of the president.
Gretchen, an example mentioned by Secretary Balisacan is the evaluation of intermodal transportation system in the Philippines. Among the steps the government is taking now is implementation of infrastructure projects such as subways, expressways, and construction of bridges that will connect Bataan and Cavite. Gretchen?
We do hope for some reprieve over that. Thank you so much for that report, Maricel Halili.
Meanwhile, President Bongbong Marcos has ordered the immediate implementation of the Amnesty program for the remaining members of the communist groups in the country. Marcos made this directive during the NTF-LCAC Executive Committee meeting earlier today. It can be recalled that in November of last year, Marcos issued an executive order and several proclamations granting amnesty to rebels and insurgents. National Security Advisor Secretary Eduardo Año added that the president also reiterated his directive for government agencies to activate their respective project development office for the implementation of NTF-LCAC projects in their respective agencies.
The president has directed the immediate implementation of the amnesty program for the remaining members of the CPP, NPA, NDF, since Congress has already concurred with the proclamation.
So, as of this moment, yung ating National Amnesty Commission, ino-organize na natin yung tinatawag na Local Amnesty Board. Ito yung more or less 17 local amnesty board in different regions. Ito yung mag-poproseso at mag-assess kung either yung ina-apply na amnesty will be eligible or not.
Data from the NTF-LCAC shows that there are 40,000 members of the CPP-NPA who surrendered, with an expected 1,500 of them being the first batch to apply for the government's amnesty program. The NTF-LCAC also clarified that only surrendered rebels will be eligible for amnesty, and this is their target to implement this year. The agency also noted that there are still 11 weekend guerrilla fronts in the country that are targeted to be dismantled this 2024.
I believe yung against sa amnesty, we already explained to the Congress and Senate that the amnesty, kasi hindi lang siya, kasi pati yung mga senador at saka yung mga congressmen before, they don't want to have that amnesty to the rebels. But we explained to them that those be subjected to the amnesty are those more or less 40,000 CPP NPA that have already surrendered. Doesn't include yung mga nakakulong at the same time yung mga nandun pa sa taas.
We're going to pause for a quick break. Right after that, as the country continues to experience the extreme heat amid the dry season.
in Palawan and Catarman in northern Samar. With the hot and dry weather due to El Nino, we've seen fire incidents ravage homes, properties, and forest lands over the past weeks. With temperatures still rising, how do we keep our properties safe from heat-related fire hazards? We have with us tonight Andy Palmieri, CEO of Palmer Asia Incorporated, to tell us more about that. Now, Palmer Asia is one of the leading fire safety and security companies in the country. They are responsible for these extinguishers that you see right in front of us.
And supposedly, there's a lot more other products that you have apart from these na nakasanayan natin.
Yes, we do fire trucks and we do a lot of fire systems, sprinkler systems, fire detection alarm systems.
Okay, but Andy, you brought these.
Yes.
So
I
let's start
realized
off-
meron palang dalawang variation.
May red tsaka may green.
Oo.
Makala ko
Yes.
kulay-kulay lang, eh, no? Iba pala yan.
Yes.
Alam mo, pang match lang ng
Yes,
interior.
yes. The
Can you tell us the difference? That was such an interesting trivia before we went to air
Right.
that Sir Andy was telling us na magkaiba pala yan.
Actually, yung fire extinguishers that you need depend on kung ano yung masusunog. Kasi there are usually 3 types of fires. No? Class A, Class B, at saka Class C. Yung Class A, yung merong abo, yung papel, kahoy, or anything na merong may iwang abo.
Ashes, yeah.
Ashes, no? Yung B, yun yung merong bubbles, liquid, like gasoline, lacquer thinner, no?
Mga chemicals.
Chemicals, usually. And C, yung may kuryente. So, itong dalawang fire extinguishers nito, yung red at saka yung green, they are applicable to all types of fires, A, B, and C. Ang difference lang is that yung red, isang gamit lang. It's dry chemical, parang pulbos. Once you open it, you have to use it all up.
Right.
Kasi yung kanyang propellant, yung nitrogen, nauubos yun, sumisingaw. Ito kasing green, maski pa konti-konti pwede, hindi sumisingaw yung kanyang propellant kasi this is liquefied gas.
So mas mahal yung green sa red?
Mas mahal yung green. Kasi ito, this is good for 20 years, yung green.
Okay.
Yung
So
isa kasi,
May expiration.
oo,
So
kasi
kasi yun nga, we were debating no, in Riza's condo,
Right.
red.
We
in
were
my
provided
condo, it
the
was
red
green.
ones.
Yeah, I was provided with the green one.
Yes, yes.
And you were telling me na mine is still good,
Yeah,
right?
very
Because
good,
it's
yes.
green, but Riza needs to have hers refilled.
Right. Or
Or
replaced.
checked.
refilled or replaced.
Right.
The thing is that it's powder, and we're in a tropical country, so yung moisture, pag pumasok dun sa loob, nagkikik yung laman. Kaya kailangan i-recharge or refill every now and then. But maybe 2 years, 3 years, not naman every year.
Yung red po, yun ang
Yung
expiry
red.
date niya, 2 to
Yung
3
red.
years.
Yes, yes.
And there are smaller ones that I didn't realize
Yes.
was available because we usually see this. Ito po maliliit is
Pang
for which
kotse,
use?
Pang-kotse.
pwede rin sa
Oh,
kitchen,
okay.
no? Pwede rin
Yung
sa...
mga ibang supercar, no, they come with that
That's
sa
right.
ilalim. Like,
Pwede rin sa
those-
condo. Yan.
If I have live in a condo, for example, is it enough to have the fire extinguisher in the hallway, or should I have one in my unit? What's the advice on that?
70% of fires start in the kitchen. So you should have one in the kitchen.
Right.
Ready.
That's easily accessible.
They're easily accessible. What is more important is that if you can practice or you have to learn how to use the fire
Yun.
extinguishers. Also, the helpers have to be taught how to use
There's
them.
knowledge
Because
dapat.
they are useless if
Bakit dati po sinasabi nila, pag ikaw ay natamaan ng fire extinguisher, parang mamumuti ba yung ano mo?
kasi
Parang
nga
naninigas.
yung kulay red, powder yon, parang pulbos yung binuhos sa'yo.
Ano naman yung laman ng green, sir?
Mawawala
It's
yun.
liquid.
Liquid.
It's very it's clean, odorless. Maski na spray mo yan sa computer, cellphone, o sa pagkain, hindi masisira. Pwede mo pang kainin yung pagkain.
But Andy, you guys, your company manufactures.
Yes.
And do you also give paano bang tutorial kung paano gamitin?
Yes, that's our advocacy. We do fire awareness seminars, subdivisions, condominiums, or even in the barangays who ask for our services for free. At least there should be 20 participants.
What do we watch out for in this very hot season.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna ask, to add to what Gretchen's asking, does the hot weather actually add to fires in a sense ba na mainit, so lalong mainit? Or in a sense na mainit, so ang dami mong binuksan ng mga appliances?
Well, that's
What
right.
causes it?
So, yung fire kasi, you need 3 elements. Yung fuel, kung ano yung masusunog, you need oxygen, hangin, and then yung heat. Siyempre, very timely questions nyo because we're experiencing
So hot.
42
Right.
Celsius. No? So, ano nun, ang immediate effect nun sa bahay, offices, schools is that you tend to use the electricity more. Or electricity overloading. No? Aircon, tapos yung electric fans, and then whatever gadgets that you have because you don't want to go out. It's hot.
Right.
You know?
So these are some of the things that we tend to overlook. So it has
Overnight
become
charging.
Overnight charging.
Using chargers na
Right.
mumurahin.
That's
cables.
right.
Sir
That's
Andy, I do have some case. It's actually happened to me with an original cord. Nakita ko siyang lumiliyab. Buti na lang, hawak ko yung phone ko, so nabunot ko siya.
That's right.
But this causes a lot of fires.
Of course, yung lithium batteries, no, if they're used incorrectly, they can cause a lot of fires.
So
no?
what do you advise as a fire or anti-fire professional? Do we leave things unplugged? Do we turn off the breakers? Do
No,
you have
before you
any
leave the house,
practical tips?
it's better to unplug whatever appliances you don't need. But before that, Filipino, we are Filipinos and we're not safety conscious. No? Marami tayong bahala na. But, may kasabihan tayo na nakawa ka ng 10 beses, huwag ka lang masunugan isang beses. No? Well, it's a habit for me to listen to the AM radios because I want to know where the fires are. And then you really cry, when those victims talk about the experiences. They have nothing left. No? But the number one cause of fires in the Philippines are electrical connections. So mahilig tayo yung mag-ano ba, yung
overload.
Do it yourself.
Do it
too.
yourself.
Right.
Do it yourself.
Fix things
It's
by
worth
yourself.
looking for a professional electrician na talagang meron siyang certificate, and then you have to have your electrical connections checked.
Is
That's
it okay
number
to
one.
do it after the fact? Let's say we've been living in our house for 20 years. Okay lang ba magtawag ng professional with certificate?
Of course.
All the more.
Yeah.
All the more. All the more you have to do that. No? Second is that the kitchen, that's 70% of the household fires start. No? So, sana yung nagluluto, sana we wanted to do something, but anyway, the ideal thing is to have a fire extinguisher with somebody there who knows how to use it. But first of all, not to leave any flame open or otherwise unattended, no? Kasi mabilis yon. Yung nakikita nating fire sa movies, drama yon. But the actual fires, I have seen it, 20 minutes, everything is gone. No?
Okay.
Wow.
Let's go to these little ones. You said, of course, you can use it in condos. I might want to bring one in my bag now. But in any case, you can use that in cars.
Yeah, of course.
Pwede rin.
Dumadalas na rin ba ang vehicle fires nowadays on your experience and observation?
Hindi naman.
Hindi
No,
naman.
hindi naman. In fact, it's not a considerable percentage in the more or less 16,000 fires that we record every year in the Philippines. No? Ang marami talaga yung faulty electrical wiring.
So Class C.
Class C. Very
Class
good.
C
In
fires.
residential.
Residential. No?
Residential.
Lalo na dun sa mga...
How about forest fires? People will be traveling to different tourist destinations. What should we watch out for in terms of
What should we not do?
our behavior?
Yeah, that's one of the immediate effects of this hot temperature, the upsurge in outdoor activities. No? So the thing is that the dry leaves at saka yung dry condition, it increases the possibility of fires even outside. No? Because if those 3 elements of oxygen, heat, and fuel are present, there are fires. No? So when you go out, you have to make sure that the trash is properly taken care of. It's better to have just a smoking area in public places, outdoor places that are really assigned, smoking areas. Usually, it's the smoking that causes fires outdoor.
Andy, we've had and we've been through plenty of fire drills. There's frequent naman inspections in buildings and in homes. Are these effective still, or do we have to improve it to prevent fires from happening?
And let's be honest, to add to Riza's question, every time we hear of maybe FP fire
Fire
inspection,
drill?
a lot of people will say, "Hey, naku, hingi na naman sila ng pera." How effective are these
Or the fire drills?
inspections? That's really what everybody tells me. right?
There are
I've
two
seen
things
sometimes
there,
yung
no?
fire drills naman
Yung
are
fire
taken for
inspection
granted.
at saka yung fire drills. The fire drills are very helpful. That's why we have these earthquake drills too. Because we are not safety conscious as a people, no? Sabi nga nung, natatakot gumamit yung iba kasi baka raw sumabog.
Yun nga yung rumor noon.
Baka
Pag
sumabog.
nilagyan ka daw ng
So-
makasa extinguisher, hindi na mawawala sa mukha mo yung
Nakasunog daw
No, which is true.
Movies
Because the
kasi.
dry chemical is designed to really stick to the fire. That is true.
Oh, that's true.
That's true, no? But that's why yun yung one of the
So
advantages.
this is the safer one.
That's right.
Okay, the
But you
green
have
one.
to, it has a higher cost, no?
Right.
So yung fire drills are very effective. No? Parang, kasi safety is a way of life. You have to be safety conscious wherever you are. No?
You mentioned also, Andy, you also provide fire trucks.
We do a lot
Do
of
we
fire
have
trucks.
enough in different cities, in LGUs?
Well, the Bureau of Fire Protection has been buying a good number through the past years. Well, we still lack, no? Maybe several hundreds, no? And then when you when you fill up all the requirements, yung mga iba naluluma na, so you still have to buy new ones. And then more importantly are the personal protective equipment for the firemen. Kasi kung minsan makikita mo, nakapaa pa yun.
Totoo.
Nakakaawa sila. No?
Unlike in the other countries, diba? Look at their gears.
That's right. That's right.
Andy, these things have been around forever. Mas matanda siya than all of us here combined, these fire extinguishers. But around maybe like 7 years ago, my mom actually bought me this ball. Meron pa siyang sarili niyang patungan.
That's right.
And supposedly, she probably assumed rightly that I don't know how to use one of these things.
She got you that
So what you
instead.
do is you just roll it to the fire and the heat. So that's kind of a new way of trying to extinguish fire. Even like a little kid can do it.
What's
Can be
inside that?
I'm hoping Andy can tell
parang
us.
merong may firecracker yun that starts the process of parang dry chemical din yung
So same yung laman. But Andy, do you have more innovations? Or ito pa rin ba yung kumbaga gold standard natin sa fire extinguisher? Is
Well,
there more products available? Other things
we're
that can
into
help?
fire safety and security. In the US kasi, the houses, most of the time, walang tao. We're dreaming of that here, no? That all the houses have their residential sprinkler system. Kasi maski walang tao yun, maski natutulog ka,
turn on.
that's the safest.
Right.
It will work on its own.
Right.
Tapos doon kasi sa ibang bansa, nakakonect sila doon sa fire department. Kasi mga walang tao, alam kaagad nila kung nasaan yung fire. That's what we want to do, no, on a private basis. No?
Out of curiosity, has a village or a property developer ever approached you? They're building a village and they ask you, hey, pwede bang lagyan mo ng abang for this type of system?
Yes.
May ganun na ba dito sa
meron. And we would like to grow that line of...
And hydrants too, diba?
Of course.
provide water.
But the sprinkler saves lives. Yung talaga yon, no? Kasi maski walang tao, maski natutulog ka, talagang ma-extinguish yung fire. Maski na masira ibang properties mo, at least you save a lot more.
If we want to learn how to use this,
Right.
where can we watch?
Do you have a
Or
YouTube
contact
video?
you?
Or
Yeah. We have a YouTube video, no? That we can live with you. I think we can also give our
there.
people are showing.
You can see the videos rolling now on the screen. So, can we access this on your Facebook perhaps? Or
Yes.
your YouTube
Facebook
account?
or in our website. No?
Okay.
Palmer Asia Incorporated Facebook. We update it every day.
Well, tama naman yan, no? Better to be prepared than to be reactive.
That's right.
Because
An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure and a
mangyari
burned
na lahat,
house.
wag ka lang masunugan.
That's right.
Correct, indeed.
But yung awareness and how to use it, what the companies usually do is that they ask every employee to use the fire extinguishers that they have before they give them to the contractors for refilling. So dalawa yun.
Everyone gets a chance.
So everyone gets a chance
And
to use
experience
it.
how to use
At the
it.
same time, talagang pag sinabing ni refill, they have to refill kasi walang laman when you give it to the refiller.
I now want to buy a small one so I can practice. Kasi same lang naman yung principle nung
That's
maliit sa
right.
malaki. Hindi, para lang mas
How
mura yung...
often do condominiums change the fire extinguishers in the hallways?
Well, the firemen come every year, no? So they're forced, no? But
They are
actually,
They are
you can check it on your own in your condos,
Yes.
no? You have to invert it
There's a sticker.
and listen to a cascading sound of the powder. If there's a cascading sound, it's still okay.
So that's better than checking the inspection tag because that's the
That's
only
right.
thing
Kaya
I
lang
do.
usually kasi nakatago yung extinguisher tas may glass,
May
na you
glass
have to
and
break
break in
to
case
get
of
to get
emergency.
it, right?
Yeah, in the hallways.
Oo,
But
eh.
yung sa condo, dapat hindi nakatago yan.
Okay.
So yun nga kanina. So Andy, like for us condo dwellers here, saan po namin pwede ilagay yung malaking fire extinguisher that is provided for?
Well,
Where is the best place to put it? Is it in the kitchen?
Of course, 70%. But I suggest that you get hold of the green one.
Yes.
Because it's clean.
Okay.
Kasi yun nga, once you press that, it will take you 1 week to clean up everything. The red
Thanks
one.
for the warning and the tip.
Sorry, magkano? Para lang may idea po yung ating viewers.
This
How much?
one is, I think, 900. This one's about 3,000.
Okay,
So
so
three
times
times
three.
more expensive.
Yeah, but it has 20
But so much
years
more,
more life.
right.
You don't
Your
have to
peace of
consume
mind.
everything
And then the
all
big-
at
and then the
once.
big
You
tanks?
can forget it for at least 20 years.
The big
Right.
tanks?
The price, that one is about 2,000.
So this one is 6,000, mga ganon.
Ganon.
Around
That's
there.
right. That's right.
Okay.
And you get a free seminar. Should you need
Oh yeah, we can do that for you.
Best investment that you can make
Just
to
tell
protect,
us, just
you
tell
know,
us
protect
what
your
condominiums.
properties and your lives.
Sure, we'll do it for
It's like
free.
getting insurance.
Right. Okay, but unfortunately, we can talk about fires and fire prevention all day, but we have run out of time. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
joining
Okay.
us and for
Thank
dropping
you for
by
your
here
time.
and showing us and sharing resources with us. Palmer Asia CEO Andy Palmieri.
Thank you. Thank you.
Parang time now to focus on your apo.
Right.
So mukhang family life na.
Okay. Oo nga, we all know naman na she's entering a new era in her life. It's her wedded era. So, all the best wishes.
Marami kasi nagtatanong sa kanya, parang bakit nag-go ka pa for another run when you can focus on your family? Sabi niya, no, I have to do this because I don't want to have what-ifs. And that's very brave of her, right? To go for another try, her 5th Olympic Games sana. But yun nga, things
Injuries
went
given,
another way.
yeah.
We also honor Elrene Ando,
Of course.
very young, 25-year-old Cebuana. But nakita ko, ang pinaka-importante doon, masaya si Heidi Lin sa post niya.
Yes. And of course, masaya rin tayong lahat kasi it went to another Filipina who can again show what we can do on the world stage. But that's it for the big story tonight.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.
Thanks for tuning in and have a good night.